Okay, so Raj, will you be starting, or I take over from here?
You can start from now. You can open the slide in the slideshow mode and you can start the session.
Okay, okay, perfect. Hi everyone. So so today I choose to speak and discuss about something which is not much discussed, which is everybody's concern, like how do I sell, how do I bring a revenue, and how do I turn the social media expenses or the uh, events that are being done into a real-time business ROI. So this is something I would like to have discussion both ways. I would appreciate any questions or any thoughts you can share as a chat, and then we'll take it at the end of the session. So this is something that we have been doing for quite a long time at Simplify 360. So far, we are actually the leaders in social business intelligence or social media management application space in India, and we have good presence in Europe, US, and Asia Pacific. And we have not used any other form of advertising other than uh, social media, and very minimal we have gone outside. And our use case has been two ways. One is have a good force in marketing. The second thing is directly into sales and building the sales channels, leads, and have direct communication. So so I'll just start the presentation over here. So first thing, this is my thought that lead generation was never as easy as it is these days. It is very difficult that a salesperson is out of leads, and if somebody is seriously sitting in the office and saying, I don't have leads, I don't think he deserves to be in the sales space at all. All right, because there are enough avenues where a salesperson can go, connect, talk, generate lead, build relationships, and most of the most successful salespeople that I have seen in last couple of years has been the people who are not waiting for leads but actually were generating leads. So earlier, social media, when it was thought, right, even today it is thought as an machine or as a system which delivers the intelligence to the business, but then it is slowly transforming to slightly different, which is using the social process to actually grow the business. Right? And there are a lot of companies who have done it. I have not put so many case studies today, but I actually want to go a little bit more hands-on into this. So I'll be covering some of this, like how do I sell without spending, how do I identify the targets and reaching out to the people, using social media listening for lead generation, then building the customer profiles, customer segmentation, using the internal leads, empowering with or mixing with social media strength, then building the targeting, retargeting, and at the end, our case study on B2B sales. So first thing on social selling. So, so this was actually a practical example. Like I wanted to meet CMOs, consultants, social media consultants, digital media managers, community managers. In these areas, the people, well, I was traveling to Chicago, and the only thing that I did was I did a quick LinkedIn search, right? And I got them, and I could reach out to these people directly, either by building connection or using the LinkedIn InMail. And InMail is not a very costly a vehicle, so it fairly worked in my favor that I could reach out to at least 25 people before I reached Chicago, and I had already 10 to 15 meetings set up, right? The second thing is if I know whom to connect, right? Suppose say I want to reach out to CMO of Infosys, it's fairly easy. I just do it, and its LinkedIn profile is here. And it's not only LinkedIn, as we all know. It's also about my Twitter and Facebook and Quora, and I can reach out to the person from multiple channels. I picked up very simple steps, and I know all of you, most of you would be very familiar with this, but mostly what I have seen is we all know these are available, right? But are we using it? I've seen very few people actually using it in this way. Therefore, I wanted to highlight this. Some of you might see this as an repetition. So then what's the real change, right? What did social media bring? So I see this in total of 8 different buckets, right? So so mostly we all are aware of all this different, actually seven different revolution that the social media has brought. But when it comes to actual sales, right, there are a couple of topics that actually come handy, and among them, especially virtual friends app, building networks and building relationships from here, reaching out to people through all this, not only in LinkedIn, but it can be done in Twitter, Quora, Google+, Facebook, corporate connections, obviously through LinkedIn and Zing. So, so I see these 3 as the major strength that can be straight away leveraged for lead generation and actually converting them to the sales. So now in the second part, I would touch a little bit on the leads generation using social listening, and this is one of our core strengths as a company. So so it is fairly simple. Like, first thing is you monitor your brand and messages to you, and you get your indirect interest as well as the direct query. And a lot of times, like, people have been tweeting us, hey Simplify360, can I get a quick demo? Or somebody casually mentioning, I would like to evaluate a few brands including Simplify360, Radian6, and so maybe Social Bakers or Unmetric, something people, those type of tweets are very common. So if I get that, that's a direct lead. But in many cases, that doesn't happen. So when it doesn't happen, then we usually go and track the competition. So if somebody is saying, I'm trying suppose Radian6 or Unmetric or something, we don't directly compete with Unmetric, but people have that confusion. So whenever people are exploring it, we pitch in, and we don't pitch in as hey, take Simplify360, but we usually help them. If you're looking for this, then these are the 4 or 5 options that you might want to evaluate, and we provide certain things. So in a subtle way, this has been working quite good for us in terms of monitoring competition and approaching the people who talk about the competitors. And especially when people are not happy with the competition, saying, somebody criticizing, I hate Salesforce Marketing Cloud, looking for an alternative. If somebody says something like that, then we usually come and pitch, maybe we can help you. Right? So these are the 2 things, and most importantly, from more than the first and the second, the third one is extremely important, because in the first and the second, people are actually completely aware of either you or your competition. So if somebody is very much aware, even though he is criticizing, he might be criticizing because of some smaller problems, but he might not have taken the decision of just moving from one player to the other. But in the third one, if somebody is just expressing an intent, right, exploring for a good social media analytics platforms, then if I go and pitch in, the chances that we get is very high. And I've seen there are only 3 companies doing this very aggressively. Along with us, one of our competition, Brandwatch and Sysomos, are being continuously doing this. So so that is one. The second thing is somebody is just exploring the market. I want to understand more about social media analytics and those the type of things, right? Then we usually go and pitch in and try to educate him so that in future, if he is actually looking to buy, he has us in one of the consideration list. So this is from a B2B perspective. If we go to the B2C thing, rigorous reaching out might not be a good option, because you can't, if you don't do too many tweets, your volume of business might not be increasing, or it may not make sense, and if you do too much, it might be spam. So for B2C, what we suggest is typically maybe 2 every day. And you look awesome, right? So that was not a direct sell, but it actually made a lot of sense to generate an evangelist around, and in some cases companies are also using those methods to give out coupons and try to pull them into their e-commerce sites, and there are a couple of other options that I've seen companies using it. So if this is just a suggestive thing that I have in my mind, but I think when you start actually doing this, you would have to adjust a lot depending on your industry, depending on how much aggressive that you want to go stage of the business, and a lot. So so typically I see in B2B it's best that you use either a sales account or a personal account to reach out, so that you give a personal touch, or don't spam the actual company account too much. But in B2C, you do anyway have to do very minimal, and that minimal will get maximum effect if you actually use the company handle or the handle of the celebrity that is endorsing the brand. So there are some approaches, approach difference that can be that has to be enforced. So now this is the third one. This is a mix of marketing and sales, and why I choose to keep it over here is this is very much a part of sales, because the way that I think for sales is it's not only about just reaching out to a person and try to sell, but also to build the relationship, understand the customer, and make very targeted communication. And that goes a lot of different things, which is part of both sales and marketing. So so consider an example where you are a B2B sales executive, and you have 500 CIOs to approach, right? And when you have been given that 500 list, so in a month you can reach out to maximum of 50 persons, and then because you have to follow up and prepare and everything, so max more than 50 is not possible. So how do you choose those 50 out of 500, right? So the suggestion that like I have is use the social media to profile those people, right? And then when you do it, there are also some systems and processes which can do it in an automated way. If that automated thing is not possible, then even a very basic can also be done in a manual way. But I would suggest that whenever the volume is more than maybe 50, it's always best to use a platform that can aid you in some form. So you are a consumer brand, and mostly like you have email IDs, you send mailers, you have phone numbers, you send text, right? But the problem over here is, are those rightly targeted? Are people actually liking it or hating it? If you are sending coupons, are people actually using it, right? So there are multiple problems with that. So the suggestion, the problem here is you don't have a lot of this information. You don't know his religion, ethnicity. If you know that a guy is Punjabi, right, maybe send him an email on Lodi. If a guy is Bengali, send him a coupon in Kali Puja or Durga Puja, right? And those type of targeting can be done in the basis of religion, ethnicity, gender, his income level, his affinity towards sports, whether he is a football fan or a cricket fan, whether he likes a serial, whether he likes a particular uh, uh, a person within a serial, or he's a fan of some channels like Big Boss or something. So there can be a lot of things which can be derived using social media, and a lot of this information are public. So once you bring this information right, not only doing a targeted marketing campaign, but even for a salesperson, reaching out to that person and having a very valuable and engaging communication, right there, this is extremely helpful. Suppose say tomorrow if I have to go and meet the CMO of Tata Docomo, and if I already know that he is a golf fan and he likes some action movies and he is a fan of Deepika Padukone, and then if I get 10 information, right, it makes my communication or the dialogue with him very engaging, so I can customize it accordingly. And more than that, if I know that he has been talking about big data and social media analytics and mobile analytics and other form of analytics a lot, then I can actually completely customize my page based on the interest area that he has, so that I don't have to go and open everything that I have and then tell him, give him 20 things that he is not interested in, right? So this actually helps people, and some of the information that can be received right from using social media are those. A lot of this is directly available, and a lot of this needs to be processed. Suppose say a person who is talking about Audi and Louis Vuitton, and he's talking about a UV city in Bangalore, and then he stays in Hilton Hotel, Thailand, right? He is a very high-end person. So so based on that, a completely new type of reach out or new type of communication can be built. So those are the parameters that can be used to actually build a lot of these things, and we do a lot of this analytics in-house, and then we provide it to our clients, and based on our experience working with some of the B2B and B2C clients, this has been extremely valuable to them. So now the other thing is also like analyzing the existing fans of Facebook. Right, you have Facebook, and then like you understand them. Facebook will give you the list of users who ever liked your any post on your page. So after you have that, you can quickly analyze them, get a little bit of information. So this is also possible. Mostly after you get this list, the activity that you can do back to Facebook is not there, because you can't post a lot. It will be a spam, and you can't even go and post in somebody's wall. But what this will give you is an understanding of who are the people who like you, right? And based on that, overall communication may change, and you can use it in multiple ways. The second thing is you have customers. Now you go and find their social profiles, and you take those information, right, and then add it. Now you have a very good understanding of the customer. So basically these four, the Twitter followers, fans, LinkedIn followers, and customer, you are existing customers. So having said all this, so almost all the social networks will never like you when you try to reach out to these people in mass, right? So what you can do best is you can get the understanding from social media and use that to reach out elsewhere. Or if you have to reach out to through the social media itself, do it in a very, very minimal way, so that it is effective yet not spamming. So this is the last part, the case study of Simplify 360, and there are 3-4 slides that I've kept over here. So what I have realized is in the B2B sales, it is most important factor that any client or probable client is looking is, are you the expert in the field, right? He wants that validation. And the second thing that he would probably want to know is if you're not the first person who is telling him, and then he knows from elsewhere, that it's a lot of value. And in our case, we use a mix of it. In this case study, I am showing something which is a mix of both marketing and sales. And the way that we started is this. So we produced a lot of quality content, especially through research. A lot of them went viral. We get a lot of exposure, and then we converted. We got leads. And on an average, we get 50 leads a week through this. And most of this started with the use of our SlideShare channel. I would just quickly I'd like to show you our SlideShare channel. So we have published more than 192 SlideShares, most of them in research, and we have been doing sometimes in sports, sometimes general content, sometimes about social media, and a lot of the times, especially for some of the industries. So this way, sometimes to the governments as well. So the way that we did was we choose a particular subject. Where do I want to target now? Like last month, we thought there were a lot of government initiatives that were being declared. So we thought, let's do something that makes us expert in the field of social media for governments. And then we created a lot of case studies, white papers, and all that, and then published around. And whenever a virality content is there, it is best when combined with a PR mechanism, right? And you publish it in SlideShare, put it in blog, then send it to the bloggers and the journalists, so that it just multiplies. And ultimately, the way that we count is obviously on getting the final leads. And a lot of the times, not only this, so quality content we use in a quite different way as well. And how that fits a direct use case for sales is, suppose say we prepare a research report on banking. So some bank would be performing good, some bank would be performing okay, and some banks might require some more help. So we actually, the salespeople, they make the connections in Twitter and LinkedIn, and even Quora and SlideShare, mostly Twitter and LinkedIn, and send this research report to those people directly. So suppose say we find that SDFC is number 1, ICICI is 2, Axis Bank is 3, and Bank of India and SBI Bank are slightly at the lower side, right? So we could actually reach out to those people in a much targeted way with the research that I have, and how do they perform. So this has worked extremely well for us. The second thing that we do is pretty simple: effective monitoring. So we monitor all this. So we monitor community management, social media engagement, social media analytics, social CRM, social contact center, social command center, and all this, and then we talk to people who talk about these topics. So when we continuously talk, we do have a sales handle called Simplify 360 Sales. Through that, and also the salespeople individually, they talk to the people who talk about these topics, and this is about managing the relationship and actually taking the brand little bit forward. And a lot of the times that we have seen that in 2-3 communications, whenever we exchange, the person actually gets interested. If we don't get the reply on the first side, then usually it goes nowhere. But if he at least responds to that, the chances that we actually convert him to a very serious lead is very, very high. We usually get around 10 leads a week through this. The third one is this one. So especially targeting some type of people. Like we usually target community managers, social media managers, VP marketing, CMO, CIO, CEO, and director of data and analytics. So we look for the profiles of these type of people in Twitter and LinkedIn and Quora and SlideShare and Facebook. We search for these people and we reach out to them. And whenever we reach out to them, right, we reach out to them in the most loved way. So that so we have already done some analysis about what he likes, what is his social media behavior, whether he likes continuous tweeting or he's a very reserved guy. So we do a lot of those analysis at the back and reach out. So our salespeople, when they reach out, sometimes they reach out through Quora, sometimes through Facebook, and sometimes it is about just maybe replying to his Quora answer, or it could be liking a Facebook post, or it could be multiple things that that can be the starting point. But at the end of the day, the way that we try to establish is, we are here to help you. We are here not to annoy you, but to help you, and in the best possible way. And we on an average we get around 10 hits away, even through this. And some of the time when we do this type of marketing, we do have salespeople who reach out. But from the marketing and research, the type of support that we give is, suppose we decide that, okay, this month we are going to target community managers. So we provide a lot of content on community managers. We post it online, we put it everywhere, we give it to the salespeople so that they can send it and they can start communicating. And sometimes if it is about CIO, then we actually try to produce those type of things, especially targeted to him, like we did for social contact center. We did a complete campaign for a month, and it was not only publishing outside and in channels, but actually directed communication and used for sales. So this brings me to the end of the presentation. I've kept it absolutely simple, and I didn't use anything which is more strategic. So I'd like to hear questions, and then happy to answer if you have any.
Sure, Bhupendra. Thank you for sharing these insights. I'm sure we'll all be using these skills, and I have a few questions. But before that, I want to start one poll. The subject of the poll, because most of the participants, they are hearing our other discussions as well, and they are looking for our other courses as well. So I'll be discussing these questions, but before that I have a poll. Well guys, the subject of the poll is, would you like to participate in our 6-month digital marketing course? I'm launching this poll, and I hope you all are able to see it. I request everyone, please check your screen, and those who want to join, please click on yes. Those who are already have joined our course, you can click on no, or those who are still in mood to think about it, they can click on maybe. In the meantime, I can just read out the questions. So we have questions from Saurabh, Pranab, Jay, and a few more people. So I'll just wait for another 30 seconds, and then I'll close this poll, and then we'll discuss about the questions. Okay, another 5 seconds, and then I'll close the poll. I'm getting new questions now. Okay, Bhupendra, are you able to see the question screen? There's a question panel. You can just drag it to the left side and then pull it so that you can see the extended way the questions, or shall I read it?
I can see 3-4 questions over here.
Okay, let me read the first one for you. So guys, I'm closing the poll now. Thank you for giving your valuable poll, and let's read the questions again. Well, the first question is from Saurabh, and he's asked, like, how do we find purchase interest? I hope you can see the question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so so it's quite a tricky one, like, and it also depends on whether you are a B2C or a B2B brand, right? But the beauty about this humans is, humans are highly predictable, right? So if you use 5 different types of sentences and your friends are using other 5 to express how the intent to buy, right? It would be same across. So that is the basic principle that we use uh, on building the analytic models. So so the way that that we do is like suppose in terms of let's say for a real estate company, right? How do I find somebody is looking uh, for a house, right? Home loan, mortgage loan, some of the keywords that I'm throwing. Then he's looking for if he talks especially about buying in I'm looking to buy, or he says guys anywhere do you suggest a good home. So there are maybe 10-15 such combinations which we will express, right? That is one. The second thing is one thing he is maybe suggesting someone, right, that maybe you may want to look this because I just bought a house in Prestige, maybe Santiniketan, and you might want to look for the flats out here. That is an intrinsic thing that his friend is looking to buy, right? So there are certain these are the strings that we usually go through each of those conversations and we try to dig out. So this is the beauty of analytics, that the way that we communicate, it doesn't change so frequently, and this can be targeted. There will be some 10-20% wrong classifications, but on an average it works fairly good.
Okay, there is the next question again from Saurabh. He's saying like, how do we get this customer profile into frame?
Okay, so so there is a process into it. So so the way that we do is obviously there are a lot of restrictions from the social networks, and they don't want people to be profiled. But there are certain ways which are possible, and the way that we do is we take the email IDs and phone numbers, and a lot of the times we work with the partners to identify. Some of them do it manually, and some of them use other outsourced players to do it. But then linking that to the social channels, and try to bring the profiles, and then we mine it, and we also do that email to the networks mapping ourselves in whatever the database that we have. So we have close to 70-80 million Twitter users database that we collected when we had a free version of our product. So there are multiple ways people do it. One is using those type of lookup tables. Sometimes the companies can also launch a mobile application or a social media application like Facebook app or other things to a funny one, so that you collect the data, you map them, and then after that you profile. So mostly what happens is this profiling is slightly a negative way if we use it in that form, but if we look at from an intelligence angle and from the marketing side, it's perfectly good, that you just want to understand the customer and better serve him and not go and bombard him. So there is a thin line that the networks have, but within the limitation, if used, it's a highly valuable feature.
Okay, the next question is from Pranav. He's saying like, how should a B2B company manage its Facebook page? Because primarily Facebook is a B2C social media platform.
Okay, so so some of the best users of Facebook, right, are B2B players as well. So so it is all about, I think, identifying who is my target and how do I entertain them, right? Whether that is a B2B or a B2C, it doesn't matter. Like in the B2B, your entire intention would be to build a brand and engage those people, but in the B2C, you try to do a little bit more and try to pull those guys outside and try to have them interact with you or something, try to impress him at the first, right? And mostly the impressing thing that happens is when you come as a very informed guy, not only as an interesting guy, but an informed guy. So, so the type of Facebook messaging that Zomato is using is extremely good for a B2C brand, right? It is highly entertaining and engaging, but it doesn't translate into a huge learning. So when it doesn't translate into a huge learning and a thought provocation or something of a sort that the guy who is reading is empowered with, right? It doesn't convert. So the best users of Facebook that I've seen in B2B space are the people who do extremely high-end research, right, and produce something which is extremely highly valuable. And in that case, it keeps not only engaged but empower them. But having said that, only using research is also not recommended. Sometimes you really have to think beyond it, and it also depends on your priorities, that whether you are looking to get a maximum exposure or direct lead.
Okay. Well, I'm getting so many questions now. The next question is from Mr. J. He's saying, like, on SlideShare, what kind of content you posted, like PPT, PDF, and as he has a business website related to some IT, and he want to generate some leads for the same.
Okay. Okay. So I think in SlideShare is a primarily presentation sharing, right? And SlideShare, that is my experience. I don't have the inside info from SlideShare, but my experience has been the PPTs work always best in SlideShare, and nothing else works. So we tried with infograph, we tried with white papers, it never worked. And the more that we post PPTs, the chances that it goes viral and then it gets also featured in the SlideShare front page is extremely high.
All right. The next question is from Prajakta. She's saying, what are the different types of ways to promote on SlideShare to generate the leads? So one you said, like, to add the PPT part. So is there any other way?
Yeah, principles remains the same, right? When you're generating content, first you put so nice topic that the people will open that presentation, right? If your topic itself is not interesting, nobody would open it. And ultimately, I'm a big believer that social media is media, right? Ultimately, if the topics are not interesting, nobody is going to read. That's number one. Number second is your content has to be highly engaging and powerful. So you spend a lot of good time while building first early good presentations that you are making, because it has to come into a habit. And after it becomes a habit, every presentation that you make will obviously become a high value content. And after you post it after the content, then at the end you give your information so that people can reach out to you. So so you can give about the company and what it does, what are the products and everything. And somebody he likes that presentation, you obviously want to talk to you, right? That's the third step. And the fourth step is also there is a way to generate leads through SlideShare. It used to be paid earlier, it's free now. They have a form at the end. If you're interested, reach out, type of a form. So we use that, and I highly recommend that for a business B2B companies to use that. It's a very useful platform. Hello?
Yeah, the next question is from Sandeep. He's saying, like, what are the tools you have used to track the conversion of your leads?
Okay, so so tools we have used in-house. We have built it ourselves, a small platform to just aid it. So we have been using Benchmark HQ and Zoho and some of the other others also, including Salesforce. We have tried it, but then like we wanted to track in a slightly different way. We do use Lead4Mix, which is a lead management solution, and we use Onbounce to create forms, and we use Simplify 360 platform to monitor the conversation, reach out to people, and track the lead and all that very extensively. So it's a mix of different platforms. I've seen like the choice of the platform, right? It's very tricky, and it has to be tried and tested, and you just evolve with time, and you choose that this is the best solution. Like for us, most of the communication starts from listening, and it starts from Simplify. So we start from there, and then any forms, most of the forms that we generate is through Simplify, and we capture the lead directly and we manage it within Simplify. But then creating the landing pages was not our specialty, so we didn't go and build that, but we used onbounds. And I strongly suggest, if you want to do a strong content marketing using this landing pages, onbounds is amazing. And SurveyMonkey or MailChimp, mostly for emailers, and then to bring all those, all the leads together, right? That's the tricky part. Otherwise, your leads will be scattered here and there, and then there are certain platforms which can bring it, and we actually didn't find any of the tools which could work seamlessly and worked with us, so we just built a small platform ourselves.
Okay, the next question is from Shirish. He's saying like, what are the number of resources required to do content research and follow profiles on social channel? He's saying like, I'm trying to estimate the number of resources required for the same, and can you please share your current team count deployed for all these activities?
Okay, so this is a very tricky question. Actually, actually, I'll give you the perspective, right? See, we actually depend on analytics and research. So that's our hardcore strength of the company, right? And the strength of the company is different for everybody. So whatever your strength is, right? Creating generating content from that is very important. So that like you are very natural, and then you go and become like a very serious guy on the table. So the way that we do is we have an R&D team. Among them there are two people who produce a lot of research reports, and then we have other 4 different marketers. So we have a content writer, we have a creative person, then we have the community manager, and we have a CMO. So CMO actually he builds the overall strategy, and he also does a lot of high quality writing and engaging, because I've always said that you cannot just ask someone to do something and leave it, right? Mostly content marketing is always driven from top down. If you look at HubSpot, from the CEO to the marketer, marketing executive, right? Everybody is writing content. And then it also is about maintaining the right relationship with the media and blogging space, and this team has to do it. So mostly these are like 4 or 5, at least you need 4 or 5 people who are strong in each of their field, and build these people like the commandos, right? I don't suggest you to build a very structured and scientific science around the marketing, but I would actually suggest you to find people who are very passionate about certain things, or passionate about writing, the passionate guy who wants to just talk to people on social media, right? And develop those people into marketing commandos, right? We have built the marketing team. We had the marketing team 2 years before, was amazing, but then we continuously kept on losing people. But the new people who came to our table, right? They could catch up and come up to the speed in not more than 1 to 2 months. So that practice has to be developed internally, and a lot of the times what is more important for these people who are very high end and very thinking and aggressive people is they need good words to hear, right? If their content goes viral, then you don't have to appreciate them. They will themselves get appreciated from the market. But if it doesn't go viral, and if you like something, you constantly need to motivate them, because these guys are not normal people who are given a task and do it. So I would actually suggest all of you, if you are actually building a marketing team, find people who are very, very passionate and give them the freedom to do it. Mostly, I think in that case, the results are amazing.
Good. This one is good. The next question is from Arpit. He's saying like, how do you get access to social profile of fans of other brands?
It's not possible.
Okay. Okay. The next question is from Abhishek. He's saying like, what is the best go-to-market strategy for a B2C website product related to a natural diabetes cure?
Okay, so pharma and healthcare, right? It's slightly sensitive. So you might have to do a lot of reading on what is legal and what is not. But having said that, you have read all those documents. I would suggest that the more interesting and informative you become good. And in terms of diabetic, right? There are already the whole patients of diabetes, and all their family members are always looking for the content that you produce, right? So just think them in your mind and then build the content. It could be about eating habits, it could be about the sleeping habits, it could be about other things. So it has to be a mix of three things: a threat based, right, an opportunity based, and also a very informative and helping type of a thing. Like if there is a hospital which is free for diabetes, maybe in Chennai or in Madurai or anywhere in the world, right? You might want to write about them so that people feel that you are not only trying to sell but also trying to help. So I think it's so if you start with these thought in mind, and then these are your targets, right? So you start making the content, and after you know what is the theme of the content that you're going to follow, right? The science remains the same. That is the art. Then you produce PPTs, put it into SlideShare, write blogs, put it into your blogs, promote them in Facebook and Twitter, run some ads here and there whenever it is relevant, and then maybe sometimes run some Twitter campaigns, especially on the World Diabetes Days, or choose the days that you want to follow, right? And then have team who is continuously capable of producing such contents. I think that would do a good content marketing.
Okay, the next question is from Jay. He's saying like, what is the preferred time to post on Facebook, Google+, Instagram, and Pinterest?
Okay, so I'm assuming that it is for the Indian market. So in India, right, even though like well, there are a lot of more than 700 people having mobile internet, right? Most of the internet consumption happens in office. Let's be realistic, right? So most of the posts that are being read by people are mostly between 10 a.m. and 12, and maybe 1 to 2 during the lunch hour, and mostly in the evening before they leave office, maybe 6 to 8. So we've found for most of the brands this works. But then if you want to take a risk, and if you want to approach people when they are not consuming other contents, then you can choose other times as well, and mostly that is night. And especially if you want to reach out to the ladies and the housewives, right, the best time to reach out is after lunch, 1 to 4, or before they sleep, 9 to 11 in the PM.
All right. The question is from Yag Rajan. He's saying like, can you show on a real-time basis how you select, say for example, CIOs from Twitter or LinkedIn to target, or you just directly go to these sites directly?
Yeah, it is fairly simple. I can actually show you right away. So let me just go to LinkedIn. See, I usually do this. So you have the CIOs over here, and then if you want to reach out to any of these guys, maybe buy the premium account from LinkedIn and reach out to them, or you go there, and a lot of the people have given their public Twitter handles or something. You might get it, or you can also keep on adding these people. And the best way to add these people is mostly go to one mostly your first level connections, click someone, and then whoever comes here as an next search result, right, mostly the relevant ones, or people also viewed here, you can click on them so that you have some type of common connection, so that you can add him and you grow your network. So suppose this guy is already my first connection, I can go to this person and maybe I want to connect here, right? And I'm hoping that this LinkedIn will allow me to connect this, and mostly it does. Yeah, it is giving me. So these are some of the ways to use it. These are some of the things that are valuable but should not be used too many times, right? Don't get banned from LinkedIn, because obviously they want their network not to be bombarded so much.
Okay, Yagarajan has again asked the same question, like then how to target them without them feeling they are being spammed. And then same kind of question is asked by Guru Shrikant as well. In LinkedIn, we will get many CEO profiles. How can we interact them as there is no chat option, and how can we get business from them? Plus there is one more question from Manu, same related to LinkedIn. He's saying, like, in a B2B, do you think reaching out to these prospects on LinkedIn and Facebook actually annoys them, because every vendor on the planet tries it the same way and the privacy of the prospect is hampered?
See, there is therefore a better way to do it, right? Let us forget that somebody is a CEO or CIO or CXO, anything, right? Let us forget he is just an individual. He is XYZ. So what he feels is good, right? Which profile do we accept? If somebody sends you a request in LinkedIn or Facebook, right? Which one do you accept and which one do you delete? Just think on that, right? And use the same in others. Mostly I accept some people when I look at his profile, and if he looks genuine and good, I usually accept. That's number one. Number second is if there are mutual friends, common connections, I usually appreciate. And there are certain things which everybody does it. So those are the things, and then like sometimes some people get irritated. You can say sorry or ignore, right? So that just don't keep on sending it to him. So there are a lot of ways that you can do it, and the best way to identify the target is also if somebody has more than 500 connections in LinkedIn, right? Maybe he is more open, he wants to connect, right? And the worst thing that you could do is the moment that somebody accepts, you send him an email. Don't do that. Maybe you connect him and then wait. Think how do you approach, right? Build something that he gets interested in, and then send him something valuable, right? So that is one way. The other thing is if you identify, okay, suppose say you want to reach out to CIOs of top 20 software integrators, right? The best way to follow them is they follow them in Twitter and start retweeting or talking to them casually, right? And slowly they start knowing you, and add them in LinkedIn. Nobody will reject that. So these are some of the best practices that you can do it. When as you use it, right, you get these things. Because firstly, even finding the people becomes very difficult. But once you find it, it becomes slightly easier. And I know in the world everybody is going after these people, but there are very few people who go in the right way. So if you are following the right way, then they will appreciate it.
Thank you. There is one more question which I also wanted to ask. There are actually two questions. One is by Harsh and other is by Gaurav. Harsh is saying, like, whether we should reach our clients in social media through our social personal profile, and Gaurav has asked, like, I mean, can you throw some light on social CRM, how it is really different from social marketing? So there might be chances whether, let's say, I have a personal profile and then I have a professional profile as well. So shall I use my professional profile to connect to all my clients, and then how I can use in my social CRM? And then Gaurav has asked how it is really different from social marketing.
Okay. Okay, so first thing is in social media, right? It is always good to give a human face. Always use your personal ID with your picture there, so that somebody is talking to a human and not to a robot. The second thing is if you just want to appreciate somebody and not talk, right? Then you can do it. Be best done through the company IDs. So suppose say an analyst from Gartner has written an article, right? One thing is I can tweet that, or Simplify360 handle can tweet that, and I'm very sure that the analyst looking from outside, right, he will appreciate Simplify360 Twitter, official Twitter, retweeting it. So those are different things. But if I have to reach out to that analyst, if I want to reach out to maybe the CMO at Tata Docomo, right, it is absolutely not recommended to use the company profile. Always the personal one. So now the other one, social marketing versus social CRM. So currently it is becoming, the time is coming where these two are mixing up. And also, like being a social media listening and analytics platform, more than 60% of our revenue comes from CIO's office and customer support and not from marketing, which is a reality today. So from customer support to customer engagement, right, and then from social marketing to social engagement. So this is the move, and customer engagement is same as social engagement. So then there is a new area coming up. Like earlier, we used to hear about social command centers. Now people are talking about customer intelligence command center. So we are working with few of the partners to implement that in some of the enterprises. And that is, it combines, and the thought that it brings is the time is gone when we used to think from this is a lead, this is a prospect, and this is my customer, and this is the complaint, the guy who used to complain, and all those names that we used to put in the company, right? But today we just have one window. This is a customer. Because the moment a customer is happy, he will buy more, he will tell others to buy. The moment he's not happy, he will do everything to spoil. He will not only leave that, and he has become very powerful guy. He has himself become a mini media, right? So the way to look at is we can put everything into one. So suppose let us just take an example. Suppose let us say Jet Airways, right? How does Jet Airways see me? So I have traveled through Jet Airways. I am their existing customer. So now they are also doing marketing as in for the next flight they want me to take it, right? But the moment that I have some bad experience, right, that's whole is doomed. And it is not only true that I will tell other people to do it. And the problem here is I will spoil the brand name itself by talking about bad things about Jet Airways. And now the problem is not customer support. It's the branding problem, it's the marketing problem, it's the sales problem, it's every problem it is combined. So therefore I mentioned in the middle about the unified customer profile. So whenever the best, more intelligence that you get, right, the better it is. And there are platforms like we work with a lot of CRM providers, and we combine social data with the customer data, and I think that is the future. So it is still in niche area, but I think that's where every business is going to go.
Well, thank you, Bhupendra. There is one important question. I think it will be much more important for you. The question is asked by Alan, and he's saying, like, can you please speak a little more about Simplify 360, how it is helping people?
Okay, so we are a social media listening platform. So what we do is, so people talk a lot and spend their time in Twitter, Facebook, blogs, news, discussion forums, and a lot of user-generated content sites. We bring that information together, we process it, and then we give it to the companies in the usual form. So the usual form could be, number one is on the customer support, where we are very, very strong. We work with almost 9 of the top 20 BPOs in the country. It is, if somebody criticizes, you find that this is a problem, and then you raise a ticket, and then it provides a console where the customer support representative or the social media executives who are fully empowered of the customer support functions can directly respond and resolve that query and turn the guy who is to criticize to a brand evangelist. So that's a part on the contact center space. The second part, what we do is we actually started as a social marketing suite. So we still support a lot of agencies in India. More than 80 agencies use us, and a lot of BPO, a lot of CMO's office. So the way they use is in two different types. Number one is to actually run campaigns on social media and see how the campaigns perform, benchmark with the competitors, and see your social media activities. That's number one. Number second is, without outside of what you are doing in social media, right? How are people talking about you, and can you mine that data and get insights? So a lot of the companies use us in that form. Especially ITC Foods is one of our early customer who have been using for a very long time to track their brands and their competition and see like how are they performing, how are people perceiving them, and ITC as one of the royal brands of India, they want even a very small problem which somebody puts in Facebook or Twitter is taken very, very seriously, because they feel that they cannot fail, and the company functions in a completely zero tolerance mode. So that is an area, and the third way that people have been using is combining the first and the second together, setting up an entire customer intelligence command center piece. So this is the way that we help. We mostly sell through BPO companies or marketing agencies, but we do also sell directly in a lot of scenarios.
All right.
Okay.
So I can see like we are already ahead of time. So thank you, Bhupendra. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. Well, folks, I want to invite you for our upcoming next Friday webinar, and I'm giving you the link so that you can check it and you can register there. In case you have any query which you want to ask to Bhupendra or to our team, you can mail us at info@digitalvidya.com, or you can directly connect to Bhupendra on his LinkedIn or social media ID as well. So thanks a lot. Thank you for joining today's session, and thank you, Bhupendra, once again. Good to see that you have given such a good presentation and such a good insights. I'm sure I'll also be using all these skills. Thank you, and shall I close this session now?
Thank you so much, Amit, and with the team and the entire audience who have been with us, and extremely happy with the type of questions that I got. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. And I'm closing the session now.